All right, Giants Nation. So it's been a while since I did one of these videos where I checked the fan base of the New York Giants to see what they're thinking and what they're saying. And so first post of the day that I found was a Daniel Jones related post. This is from 366, Dan from 366. I think there's three of them there, and two of them are terrible, and one of them's decent. Dan's definitely one of the ones that are terrible. So Dan basically says that he's been seeing a lot of Daniel Jones is back. Post is this week. This can't be back if you were never good to begin with. Let's see a few more actual good, not fake good games in a row before we declare him anything other than a bust and a guy who limits the Giants' offense. So I don't know what it is with Dan and Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's ever met Daniel Jones, or maybe Daniel Jones just, wasn't nice to him. But Dan, regardless of what's going on with Daniel Jones, will never like Daniel Jones. And that's okay. There's a lot of people in the fan base that are like that. I'm in the middle. I really don't care to obsess about Daniel Jones, but I've definitely seen the obsession when he plays good. And I have no problem with it because it affects my team positively. So, when you're somebody who is a self-admitted Daniel Jones hater and, you're obsessed with the people that love him, it's kind of confusing to me because if he plays well, then that's a good thing for the team if the team's winning. If he plays well and the team's not winning, then I can understand the frustration, but we're winning. So I'm going to enjoy the winning. I'm not going to be like Dan, who, again, I don't know. That platform is terrible. But back to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, for somebody to say that he was never good is saying that you're not impressed by the 2022 season. But when you look at the QBR for 2022, he finished top 10. So he was doing something right. And you got to remember, he lost Wan'Dale that season, and his best wide receiver was Darius Slayton, who was a wide receiver 3. And the other guys that were on the team are not on rosters, or you got a situation like where our favorite wide receiver, Richie James, he went and, won a championship with Patrick Mahomes, but didn't play. And they needed wide receivers. So that goes to show you that, yes, he didn't put up great numbers in 2022, but his EPA, QBR were top 10, if I'm not mistaken. And so you could say he had that one good season. The rookie season with a lot of fumbles, but he had 24 touchdowns, which Jalen Hurts has never thrown for 24 touchdowns, but we dick ride Jalen Hurts. That's crazy to me. But with Daniel Jones, I hope he continues to play good because that strength of schedule is not easy. It's not as bad as Chicago's strength of schedule. If you go over to Thankathon, they show you the strength of schedule, and the Giants are currently 12th on the, so we got the 12th hardest schedule. So if you look, you can see all the easy opponents that we have here. And, we're on the easy side for a lot of teams. Look at the New York Giants. So whoever's playing us, they're seeing us as easy. And I kind of like that. I like being the underdog. I like when people are expecting a win like the Seattle Seahawks fans. I've been watching a lot of their reactions and they're like, we lost to the Giants. I'm like, yeah, you lost to the Giants. We should be 4-1. We should have had a kicker versus Washington. We probably win that game, assuming it played out the same way. And they didn't score in the red zone, and they had to kick field goals all the time. We would have won that game. We would have beat Dallas had Daniel Jones hit on a couple of those deep balls, or if the refs officiated. So let's just say he didn't hit on his deep balls, which didn't happen, and the refs didn't call that holding call, or the face mask call the wrong way, then you got a Giants win possibly there. You also got the Rico Dowdle touchdown where there was a clear holding, but they said, we're going to pick up the flag. Yeah, you're doing that because we're playing on prime time versus the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be an embarrassment for them if they lose to us on a Thursday night game. So, Dallas Cowboys got a lot of fans. So, yes, they did cheat for Dallas. So, we should be 4-1. So here's the narrative that's going for the Bengals game. So, basically, if we beat the Bengals, the narrative is going to be that the Bengals haven't been great all season or good all season. Mind you that they have 2 wide receiver 1s and they got a really good quarterback. And they're the Bengals. Like, their defense was not rated bad. I'm not sure where their defense was rated, but it wasn't supposed to be terrible, even though Jaden Daniels lit them up. But that's really what the narrative is going to be. And also, we're playing in primetime, so we already know Daniel Jones' record is like 1-14 or 13 in primetime. So most people will say, the Giants don't have a shot. And I don't mind being the underdog in every single game that we play, even if it's against the easy teams on the schedule. Where, if we go back to strength of schedule, the easy teams. Well, actually, the Bengals are supposed to be easy. So I don't know. Maybe Thankathon got it right. Maybe we do have a shot, but I don't mind going in as the underdog versus the Bengals or even the Panthers or the Saints or the Colts, which are the only easy opponents we got left. And as you can come back to the schedule here, you can see we got Washington is on their tough opponents now, which is crazy to me. I mean, I guess it's the record thing. But Dallas, they got the ref on their side. So if we playing them on primetime, they got refs, and people are in love with Dak Prescott. There are some Giants fans as well. He's never lost a game versus us. He's always had good teams. And for this post, another Daniel Jones related post, I can imagine, I've taken a break from reading Giants content, but I can imagine that a lot of the talk has been about Daniel Jones. This last one is about Brian Daboll and how he's having fun coaching Daniel Jones. And a lot of people, if Daniel Jones continues to play well and make the throws that he's supposed to throw, I'm not really seeing too many throws behind wide receivers like earlier in the season. A lot of people will just go ahead and say, oh, well, Brian Daboll made Daniel Jones look good. He made him throw passes more accurately. Crazy to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Brian Daboll's play calling is very important to Daniel Jones, because if you have bad play calling and you have Daniel Jones, then it's not going to end well. But at the end of the day, he's still got to make those deep ball passes. He's still got to make all those short yard passes. He can't be throwing passes behind wide receivers. A lot of people look at it like, well, every quarterback should be able to do that. But when you sit down and actually watch games and not highlights of other teams with better quarterbacks, and you see some of the bad throws, even by Aaron Rodgers, who I understand is older, there's been so many bad throws I've seen from some really good quarterbacks. It makes you realize that, yes, Daniel Jones isn't a really good quarterback, but at the end of the day, every quarterback makes bad throws. Like, people just act like it's only Daniel Jones. So Daniel Jones continues to play well. A lot of people who don't like Daniel Jones, who genuinely don't like him, they hate him. They'll say, oh, I hate him because of his fans. No, you hate him because you hate him. Don't blame the fans. You're finding a reason to hate Daniel Jones, but you hate him because you don't like him. You never wanted him. That's fine. Just be honest. Don't be, oh, it's the fans that made me hate. No, shut up. You don't like him. And that's fine. But yeah, a lot of you guys will be giving credit to Brian Daboll, and only Brian Daboll. You say, well, Brian Daboll made him look good. Oh, well, Malik Neighbors, he made a catch that, the normal receiver wouldn't make. So, Daniel Jones is not good. It's just that Malik Neighbors is making catches that, other receivers can't make. And that's fine. I just want to win at the end of the day. You guys don't want to win. You guys don't want to win with Daniel Jones because you don't like the idea of keeping him. And I get it. But at the end of the day, that's out of your control. So y'all could sit there and continue to, dream about Cam Ward and the dude from Texas that's not Archie Manning, and Sanders, and all these other quarterbacks that the Giants typically don't draft. Like, a lot of quarterbacks y'all like are 6'2". I feel like they like bigger quarterbacks, but that could just be me.